Well, I'm excited for this one, not just because it's an unboxing, but because it's a brand new gimbal. And I haven't done any gimbal work on YouTube for a while. I do it behind the scenes for family and friends and stuff, but I haven't been posting anything about it. So I'm really excited about this. This is from Hohem. Now, just to let you know, they sent this to me to review. I'm not sponsored by them though. My last gimbal I had from them was the M6, and I love that thing. What is this? It is the M7. They didn't just step it up a notch. They blew the M6, I think, out of the water. So let's open this up and kind of have a look to see what we actually get in the box. Now, I know for a fact this gimbal is over the top with functions and controls. It is actually almost a headache material because there is so much you can do with this gimbal. Now, let's get the box open and have a look here. And standard by Hohem, an awesome case. Let's open this bad boy up. Da, da, da. Whoa, there's what you get in the box. Nice case, feels like polar fleece up here. Here we have our standard kind of paperwork instructions inside. Actually, I'm going to put them back in the lid there. Nice case. We get nice little tripod foot here, and it's got the rubber on the bottom as per normal. That is awesome. I love having that. Got a little box here, it says charging cable. So, well, okay, we get two cables in here. One is USB-A to a USB-C, so we can charge the unit. And then they also included a USB-C to USB-C, so you can charge your cell phone from the gimbal. That is pretty cool. Then we get our lovely little gimbal. So I'm just going to move the box kind of out of the way here. And I'm just going to set this down. Now, before we get too much into this, I wanted to let you know this uses the Joy app. I'll put a link to a video I did down below on the Joy app. I'll put a link down below to the one on the Moments section specifically within the app, so you can go over that and learn all about the app. Wow, there's so much information on this gimbal. It's kind of overwhelming. So here's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to break this video maybe into 3 parts. This part here, we're going to go over the main functions and do some testing with it to see how good it is. Then I'll probably break the video into 2 more pieces. One going over all the functions on the gimbal as it is like that, and showing you how each piece works and actually testing it. Then the next one, there's a remote with this, with tons of added screens and menus and AI functions for tracking. Do that separately. You can let me know down below whether you want one long video on all the buttons and controls, or if you want it broken down to the 2 parts, the main gimbal piece and then the separate remote and all its massive amounts of controls. This holds 500 grams of weight. That is awesome. That's a huge payload for a gimbal this size. Now, I'm going to put the specs up right here. You can pause the video, go over all the specs. This thing, I can't wait to actually get playing with it. They've done some really cool things. The M6 I thought was amazing and was my favorite gimbal. They stepped the game up so big with this. Now, a few things that they've done differently is right here, there's a lock to lock the gimbal arms. There's a lock here to lock the gimbal. Then we have another lock back here to lock the gimbal. So you can lock all this down in this position and it doesn't move. Now, since I have the gimbal already in this position, we'll go through some of this. We have our A/B buttons here, and they do like a pan or a motion lapse, because you don't have to use Joy app. You can use any app you want for a lot of these controls. You have the same wheel as you do on the M6 on the side, and you have your standard trigger on the back, so you can center and do a few other things, because man, everything does multiple things on here. Now, one thing that is new, let's peel that. Oh, nice little screen. We have a bigger OLED screen. We have our little joystick. We have our zoom in and out. We have our mode button right here. And we have another button on the side. Now on here, you have your mode button. So if you look right here on that, see how it's changing? I have different modes. So I've got my pan, follow, pan, tilt, follow, and POV. But it also has a custom one which allows you to set your own, which is really cool. We're not going to get into it now. That'll be in the next video. I just wanted to show you that that's there. Before I go any further, they did one thing different. Look, this comes off. This is your remote. You can actually preview and see what's going on the screen and be away from your gimbal. I'm going to show you how all that works. Amazing. And it just simply clips back in. Carrying on the side, we have our main power button here. You just long press to hold and it'll turn on. And we have our charging on the side here. We also have a port here, or not a port, but a threaded mount, so you can add additional items to your gimbal. There's also another additional one on the arm up here, so you can add there as well. We have our standard mount on the bottom, and I'm actually going to put our little tripod-y legs on here just to make life a little easier. They're on so that it stands. Now we need to swing the gimbal up into this position here, so it's kind of like that. So this arm's in the back. Now that's got everything set here. Right here, there's a little lever that you can undo and lock down with a ruler along here. That is for balancing your cell phone. Also on here, we have another port, and this is for clamping down standard for your cell phone. On top here, we have the same kind of AI tracker that the M6 had. One thing they've done differently though is on both sides, we have a little lock that you need to release to pop that off, so you can turn it around and it just snaps back in. That is really handy to be able to do that. And putting the locks on gives you that added bit of security, which never hurts. On the side here, we have an on-off button. And if I turn that on, be a little light that comes on here, and then this unit will flash because it has our light in, the CCT and the RGB lights again. First thing we want to do now is we want to center our phone. So let me grab a phone and bonk. And it just slides in. You adjust this arm left or right, and then here, see how that's kind of rotating off like that? We want to center arm on the back, and it just slides. See how that arm slides? We want to slide this so we balance out a bit. Our phone sits flat like that, which is perfect. Then to turn this power on, you just simply long press and hold, and the wonderful word of Hohem, and look at that screen. I can't even begin to tell you how many controls are in this thing. This is a full touch screen, by the way, and there's screen upon screen upon screen of controls. That's why we're breaking this video down. But that's the basic setup. That'll get you going. The Joy app you can use, or you can use your in-camera app or any app you want, because you got the AI, it'll still do the tracking. But a lot of those extra features are within the Joy app. Now, I've gone over a lot of this, but I'm going to show you adding on this item right here. I'm just going to move this out of the side for a sec. This is Hohem's Mic 01. Let me just pull this out. And it's a wireless microphone system for your smartphone. So I'm going to set this up and film with it and show you how well this adds onto that, and how you can offset your camera a bit, rebalance it, and be able to use an additional function like that. Or you can use a little L-shaped kind of bracket, kind of like one of these, that has another extender that you can attach a mic to it and bring down there. But I just wanted to show you Hohem's. There's a video down below on the review and everything and testing I did of their microphone. Why do we get a gimbal? We get a gimbal for stable footage. So let's see how stable this footage actually is. Let's do some walking with the gimbal. See how stable that footage is. We don't need much, but you can see it works out pretty good. Now if I run, seems to be holding pretty steady. I think that's pretty good walking, running. Now, one other thing that I really like about this gimbal, and I don't know any other gimbal that does this. Look at that. It has a selfie stick built into this. How cool is that? I think that is awesome. Hang on, I just got to tighten that base up. Look at that. That is so cool that that is built into the gimbal like that. Do a reveal. Come from behind an object, bring this up. Look at that. Having that extended pole works brilliantly. Another thing you can do with this is do a low drag in behind of the feet. Now I do want to go over the basics of the tracking, not the full in depth, because there's way more different ways you can do it. But let's have a look at some of the tracking to get you started in that direction. I've turned on the AI unit, the little screen here. Just swipe it to the right, and now you get a preview because there's a lens built up in top. I just simply need to get my face in there, double tap. The gimbal now follows me. So let's raise this up, put this here, and you can see how the unit continually will track me wherever I go. It'll keep me locked in on that. You can see how well that works. To cancel it, it's quite easy. Come on over and find yourself, triple click on the screen, and it no longer tracks you. Or you can press the side like that and it'll pause it. And it's no longer tracking me at all. Now, to use the AI tracking, it's the same thing. Come down, find your target, and you can see I'm now tracking. So it doesn't matter how I move around, the gimbal will keep it in track. So if I manually move the ball, the AI tracker, as you can see, will keep following the ball. So no matter where the ball is, even if I'm not in the scene, it will follow the ball even without me being in the actual picture. And with me here, it's still tracking the ball, not tracking me. Now, for our basic hand signals to get this to work, do the OK symbol. It now, as you can see, has me on track and is following me around. If I do the palm, it stops tracking me. So, OK, track, palm, stop. Oh, that's really cool. Not only can I track myself, I can track an object. Very cool. And it wasn't picking me back up. It was staying on the object. So it worked extremely, extremely well. This can be controlled by all your little hand signals, the same as the M6. If I do that, look at that. It's now in portrait mode. That is really cool. But it's not POV. It's kind of, all of a sudden I want that quick little thing in front in the portrait. I just simply have to rotate and straightens itself back out. That is really cool. Hohem also took care of the wide-angled lens. If you use a wide-angled lens, this arm is in the way. Boom. Now I'm on the wide-angled lens, and you can see I have an issue with the arm sticking in the corner. How do we get rid of it? That same little button 4 times. Look at that. The arm is now out of the way. Problem solved, and I can use my wide-angled lens without any problems. 4 times again, and we're back to normal, and away we go. Now, you want to switch back and forth between front and rear facing lenses? Little button on the side here, click that 3 times. That easy, just rotates around 3 times. Yeah, so that's really cool. You just got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you tell I like doing that? So you saw how well it worked. You saw how irritating that arm is. What a great workaround for it. The same as the M6. This one just functions so well. One other thing, it does inception mode as well. The mode button in the front here, press that 3 times. What happens? You get one of the most awesome little things, and that is inception mode. Built in, all their gimbals have it. I think it's a fantastic little feature, and it's a fun mode. You can have, seriously, you can have a lot of fun doing an inception like this. So it's that easy. It'll finish its rotation itself, and away you go. Look at all that rotation. I always have fun playing with that inception mode. I always think that's such a cool little thing. Now, if you get all out of wonk on your when you're doing your video, just double click on the back. So if this is out of alignment, what it does is it recenters this back up and gets you going again. Because sometimes if you're doing some of those crazy moves, this will kind of get offset. That will get you recentered back in, and it works great. On the back trigger, press and hold it. When you hold that down, this locks. Everything's kind of locked in. But if you click once and then hold, you're into sport mode. So that's 2 additional modes that you have off the back trigger, and all locked and a sports mode. Now I showed you how this screen detaches. So the gimbal's on. I've got some lights on and they're saying, oh, this is talking and happening. But look, it's away from the unit and it's still working, which is awesome. So let me show you how well this works. Now, to control the gimbal at a distance, let's take this screen off. I just simply need to swipe to the side. There's our preview, and I'll be able to see myself in the screen. There we are. Hello. I can now control the gimbal remotely. That is really cool. So it's not tracking me. I'm using the joystick on here to be able to move around. So I can back way up. Hello! And you can see I am still controlling the gimbal. I think that is brilliant that I can walk away and have control on the gimbal and it just connects on and off. That simple. If you want to track yourself from a distance, slide the screen to the side so you've got the preview. Come over here, get in the frame, double click on yourself on that screen. Look at that. The gimbal's following me. So that's one way to track. You want to pause the tracking, push the little button on the side and it pauses the tracking and it no longer tracks me. How easy is that? I just simply press again and it keeps me in track. Anyways, that's the quick overview on this and your basic functions. If you have any questions or comments, leave it down below and I'll get back to you. As I say, if I would have made a video showing every bell and whistle on this, we would be sitting here for another half an hour or more. So look forward to the other video. Don't forget to check out the 2 on the Joy app and the 1 on the microphone as well as a bonus. And look forward to the videos coming out on this. So anyways, that's it for this one. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe so you're aware when I post new videos like this. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out. So until the next time.